So I was walking to class one day, and I was walking towards the Bob bus, and I don't have my phone on me. So I was just sitting in the back. I was sitting in the back, and I was looking at all the phones that people had. They're all iPhones. Like, I don't have my phone on me, and I haven't had it for quite some time right now. So me walking to class or going on the bus, it was kind of interesting to see how my life was and how my life was going to be without any kind of communication. It has its perks, but also has its disadvantages, of course. The obvious disadvantages is that you're not going to be able to call somebody when you need to, and somebody wants to call you, they're not going to be able to. But the advantages is that you get to actually see how much you appreciate your phone and how much you need your phone and how much you really don't need your phone, you know? So I was sitting on Bob on the shuttle bus. I was sitting in the back, and I was just looking. Everybody, seriously, everybody was just on their phones like this. 100% of the people. And I was just so baffled. I was so astonished that all this stuff can actually be true like this. Everybody was just sitting there on their phone, their iPhones. They were all iPhones. Every last one of them, they were all iPhones. I had one of them that was like an Android, but they were all smartphones at least. Half the people had their headphones, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, we're supposed to be the new generation. Technology has freaking consumed us. Technology has consumed us to the point where we won't even be able to look up. We won't be able to look up and appreciate the world that's surrounding us. It's so crazy because I was just sitting there wondering, like, wow, am I really like this? Was I like this when I didn't have my phone? I've noticed I couldn't be because my personality is kind of open where I'm able to talk to a lot of people. But one of my advisors told me that the reason why people are so stuck in their phone is because technology is an accelerator. It's an accelerator, and it accelerates your true being. Kind of like alcohol. How alcohol is kind of like the truth serum, and you say things that you've always wanted to say in your subconscious mind, but you don't actually say it because you're too scared. But when you drink alcohol, then that scare and that nervous thing kind of nulls, so you don't care what you're saying and you say what you actually feel. This is almost like the same thing. It's an accelerator and accelerates your inner feelings. So if I'm a lonely person on the inside, I use a cell phone to get away from all that's going on in my life, which is cool, but it's a problem because us doing that, we're now disconnected. We are a generation disconnected. And with being a generation that's disconnected, we are disconnected from the world that surrounds us. We're not able to do anything when it comes to life, pursuit, happiness. We can't have the own responsibility to go out and buy something. We have to buy something online. We don't have the ability, the mental code that's derived in us, we don't have that in us anymore to go out and, instead of playing a video game, we're doing what? We're playing video games instead of playing outside. I don't understand that, and it was just so crazy for me, and I just understand that actually happened. I just didn't understand. This was so crazy to me. And then I could have sworn that all hope was lost. I just knew that, man, all hope is lost. There's no hope in our generation anymore because we're doing this all the time. But then today, I was on a Bob bus again, and I realized that there was a lot more people on their phones, yes, but there was one person. This person saved my sanity. She saved my sanity because she was reading, get this, she was reading a book. She was reading a book, and you listen to this, it's so crazy how I'm being so astonished from somebody reading a book. But how many people in your life, honestly, how many people in your life do you see reading books nowadays? And not only was it a book, it was a hard copy book. Not one of those not one of those Kindle books, or not those online books. It was an actual hard copy book. And another person behind her, she gave me even more hope because she was studying. And not only was she studying, get this, she was studying from index cards. And not even the small ones, man. She was studying from those giant dinosaur looking like index cards. And I started looking at it while everybody else was texting their phones. I was like, man, maybe there is hope for our generation. Maybe our generation can do a little bit better. But we're just so consumed when it comes to cell phones and technology and computers. If you walk outside right now, walk to any kind of public communication, I promise you $1 million. I could promise you a gazillion, quadrillion, fulfillion dollars that you walk outside right now and you see 5 people, 3 of them will not have an iPhone. 3 of them will have an iPhone. I bet you. And the other 2 would have a smartphone of some sort, whether it's an Android. It's either Android or iPhone now because I don't think any other place exists. BlackBerry is almost like on a downhill. BlackBerry used to be reserved for people like celebrities or like rich people, but even they use iPhones now, And iPhones and Android, they're making so much money off of us and we don't even know it. We don't understand. We are a generation disconnected because they don't understand how much money they're making off of us. For instance, my phone was been off for quite some time now, and it was because the phone bill didn't pay enough. It was because my battery was dead, and I've had my phone for 2 years. So I could have easily went to the Apple store and get it changed, but other people's mindset is, why get in a car and go to an Apple store and get your phone changed and your battery changed for free or for less than $20 when I can spend $200 on a new phone? It's so smart the way Apple does this to us because we have an old phone. This is an old phone right here, and I've had this for 2 years. It's broken, it's starting to die. It's dying only because the battery needs changing. So instead of going to the store and getting my battery changed, there's a new iPhone that's coming out. Oh man, I want to save up for that. And there's an iPhone coming out every year. Even if the iPhone 5 is a long phone about this high, white, and only comes in white, but the 5C is the same exact thing, but now they come in black and add a fingerprint asset to it. Now it's an extra $200 and people go crazy off of it. We are a generation disconnected easily. And you wonder why a lot of people in my generation can't make decisions on their own because they're too busy looking at Wikipedia. They can't read a book. I was so shocked that I saw somebody actually reading a book today. I had not seen anybody read books in so long, and it's so crazy that I'm saying that, but it's true. It's so true.